I'm very glad to speak about my experience in this program. Uh, my English is very poor, so I must read uh, my copies. This copy is real things. Well, mm, 62 years ago, at 8:15 in the morning on August of the 1945, an American bomber dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima city. I was a 16-year-old student at the time. Most of the cities in Japan had been burned down by incendiary bombs dropped from B-29 bombers. On that day, the sky was clear and the sun was strong, even early in the morning. I could still hear the faint engine noise of a B-29, even though an air raid warning siren had been called off 40 minutes before. I had just finished sweeping the floor and was standing in a room in the middle of my house. Suddenly, I saw white, yellow, and red flashes coming through the window, and I thought a big incendiary bomb must have exploded in front of my house. After a few seconds, I saw a cloud of dust falling down from the crevice between the wall and the ceiling. The boards of the ceiling were hanging down, and there were piles of broken furniture and shards of glass on tatami floor. So I couldn't move my foot at once. The room was filled with dust. I couldn't bend my left arm. It was bleeding. All the nearby houses had broken windows and doors. The roofs were all warped like waves, as if hit by a tremendous storm. The streets were littered with broken roof tile and pieces of furniture. The sky was now cloudy, allowing no sunlight to come through. Everything was eerily quiet. The gymnasium of the elementary school in front of my house caught fire, but it was quickly extinguished. My house was located about 3 kilometers west of the hypocenter. A house about 70 meters away from our house was burning. The flammable materials of the house allowed the fire to spread fast. Judging from the enormous devastation, I thought that a huge bomb must have been dropped nearby. The elementary school was made into a temporary aid station for the evacuees. Seriously injured people started coming one after another. Some had burnt skin hanging from their arms and fingertips. Many of them were filthy from head to toe, wearing only tattered clothes, barefooted. There were people bleeding from their wounds, barely walking with a stick to support themselves. I saw children whose heads had only the portion of hair which had been covered by their school hats. More and more arrived from the city center, not only to the school but also to the nearby houses, including mine. At the door, my mother applied cooking oil in the fry pan to the burns of the injured. They dipped their peeled fingertips into it. During the following week, I was kept busy looking after the people staying at my house. When one of them died, we put the body on an old door and carried it to the school. Then we dug a hole in the playground, filled it with firewood, and cremated the body. The crematorium, about 1 kilometer away from our house, was in constant use. Even its backyard was used to burn corpses. There, ashes and bones were piled up high. I could see dusty, brown, decomposing bodies too. As a crematorium had too many bodies to handle, we had to carry the dead to the school playground. In my house, there were up to 29 people. 3 breathed their last there. Among them, I remember a young woman whose back had been very badly burned. Maggots hatched and grew between her peeled skin and her flesh. Although her mother picked out maggots with tweezers every day, the number of maggots seems to increase by the next morning. The daughter was clearly in agony as the maggots ate deeper and deeper into her flesh.